Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and to all of the above time zones. Right, so this reading was kind of a quickie, but that's okay. I was able to fit in what I could in about an hour, so that's good. That shows that it's that's possible. But again, because of the details I'd like to provide, it's kind of more of an ego thing, I suppose. But it's okay. It's a good ego. It means that I've done the work. I've put in all that, really put in a lot of work into it. But it's like quality work because I was definitely like guided to do it. I was definitely, when I do my research in astrology, the asteroids and the dwarf planets, when I do my research on it, I was guided to do it this specific way that I've been doing it. And it's just like, I'm being told, I'm always guided to go here, look for this, ideas come in and just like, oh cool, so I'm gonna go, oh cool, what is this, oh cool, what is this, right? So those kind of things, but which gives it so much detail that when I do the readings, it goes into a lot of detail and the potential that the sitter or the client or whoever can actually think about or contemplate or actually also confirm whether or not it's been happening in their life, in this life or in the present moment, or something they've been contemplating or something like that. So it's a beautiful process. I love it. So anyways, welcome to my channel. For those who are new, my name is Jose. I like to coin the term micro-astrology, something that I do. I really enjoy it because there's so much stuff, that's so much detail that I was like, oh yeah, that applies. Oh yeah, that applies. It just, the list keeps coming. The list, it keeps growing. It just grows and grows and grows. I'm not even done. I mean, like, I'm still working on about 10 more asteroids. I mean, that's just out of the 180, 240. So there's like literally quarter of a thousand asteroids. I mean, there's like about 100,000 total, approximately, so far that they've discovered asteroids, just asteroids alone. I think maybe that includes centaurs and dwarf planets as well. So also trans-Neptunian planets and all that stuff. So, but anyways, so that's my thing. That's my little gig. It's my bread and butter. Um, yeah, so I enjoy it. So this reading is exactly what that one person was asking about their path right now. So I decided to work on the solar arc charts to see what kind of things might come in their life right now. I focused on the nodes and all that stuff. So for those who are new or those who have been here, I hope this reading actually something that you enjoy or something insightful or something that will give you something. I don't know what it is, right? But I'll see you at the end or the other side. So, um, your question was specifically about what I'm in right now, like what you can actually, what was it? More specific path in terms of my career, specifically there are changes that are coming up that you can see. Okay. Yeah, I did see some of them.
Okay.
So I'm going to look into, first of all, what's called the solar arc progression charts. It means that I'm looking kind of like big events, like big certain situations that might come up. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to do my best.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to look into your nodes actually through that one because this is more of like your life. People say it's life path, but it's more than that.
Okay.
What I'm also going to do is just for the sake of, well, it's already being recorded, so I'm just going to, that's fine. Okay. So what I see here is, let's see. So you have your south node in Pisces and north node in Virgo, often opposite with the lunar nodes. That signifies that you come from a place of, especially in the 8th house, you come from a place where you transformed a lot, your own intuition, your own gifts of, people say spirituality, but it's very like a dissolving, sort of letting go, very compassionate, forgiving, releasing sort of energy. It's that archetypal energy of Pisces is very, um, it's the pious one. It's the one that goes, let's go. But because of all that stuff you've learned in past lives or past parallel lives, rather, you come to bring it into this incarnation, or rather reincarnation. And here you're kind of, it's more about, it's all has to do with money and finance and trusting yourself compared to trusting others. It's almost like you already know how to do that. But just in this life, you're here to trust yourself more, specifically with money as freedom, your self-worth, right? It is in the second house. So I think you've already been experiencing that since you were born 18 years later than I have. Your progression charts haven't moved quite significantly, just enough so that you're moving into what I saw earlier, which we're going to get to after this. A lot of your philosophies has now moved into your career path. So what I mean by that is you're more willing to express what you actually believe in terms of what you can apply in terms of your career. This is why you're actually asking this now. It totally
Mm.
makes sense. It coincides with what your soul wants you to go through, and you're just like, oh, I feel like this, and da da da. So it's
Mhm.
the astrology behind it, and what stars, the stars that are moving, da da yada yada yada, are coinciding and aligning with exactly what's happening right now. Okay. So to specifically go into what you're going into, so what I'm going to do is see what I can find in terms of. Let's see here. We're going to start with the South Node. So South Node and Penelope is showing me that you're quite loyal when it comes to it's almost like a gift. It is a gift. It's a natural tendency of yours to kind of
Mhm.
connect to, I guess you can say connect to people in general, but it's more about loyalty. I guess you can say undying loyalty. Penelope is, according to the myth, um, pretty much like that. She's about fidelity, loyalty, um, and kind of like preservation. She's about chastity, true love, certainty, ability, and or personal truth. Many things. She's also about. I got this when I was when I was doing my research on the asteroid. She feels like she's the one that goes. One of these things is not like the other. It's kind of like you know how to kind of pick and choose your battles. If that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Yeah.
Very focus and you know how to you have your like you have this eye for concentration. Like you can't commit to something. You're very patient, faithful. Like I said, things that are till old age. But it could also mean certain like rigidity.
Mhm.
Impenetrability, so to speak, like self-preservation, self-protection, or revelation, especially of your identity. Could be also misidentification. Um, this could also mean that in past parallel lives you could have kind of been somewhat competitive. You had a sort of a seductive nature to you. It is very 8th house as well. That's Scorpio energy. Um, there's certain cravings or desires that you had. There are a lot of turn-ons and turn-offs, hunger and lust. I feel like you were also a man in a past life. Okay, but I feel like it's. Let me double check it. Yeah, male and female. I wouldn't.
Okay.
Kind of. Yeah. So, so you were very drawn to things that are mysterious. So the kind of stuff. The kind of like again, it's that kind of feeling of like, cause the story of Penelope, she's the one who, she had a husband who was like, what do you call this? He was, what was his name? I totally forgot what his name was. He was good at his Odysseus. So he,
Oh.
yeah, so he went away and thought apparently he was thought to be dead. But then there were suitors coming after her. She's saying, "Oh, her father said you should remarry." Da 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 da. And so that could also mean that you probably were married or maybe not remarried. You were very loyal to your partner, whoever
Mhm.
that was. So you carry that gift within you now, like in this lifetime. Um, so you could have also been chaste in a way. I don't know if they did in past lives. So that kind of gift, it means that you are, yes, there's a loyalty part there, but you also, how do you call this? You just know how to go about things. It's like, are you good at puzzles? You good at puzzles?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Do you like stingrays? Cows, pigs?
I mean, I don't have like a fascination with them, but I like animals.
Okay, you like animals. Okay, cool. So you must have been good at archery. Or did you try archery before? Shooting lasers?
I did that in like elementary school gym.
Okay, that's a kind of a gift you have. Like you have that connection to like pinpointing
Interesting.
things. Yeah, yeah. You know how to evade unnecessary things in your life. You were probably also banished somehow, or you were the one enforcing the banishment on someone, being discharged. Um, yeah, but this is tied to the eighth house, so I don't know. Do you have you been fired from work and but have good severance pays? Okay, that could be a thing. Either you will get severance pays or you won't, or somewhere in between. There's something about severance. Um, or it could be severance as in separation from something. Um, what is this one here? Oh, 10 degrees. Do you feel do you feel sometimes feel disconnected from your power?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is. Yeah, that's the one. So when it's power, it's a human power, right? So one of the gifts there is definitely bringing that through and figuring out what you want from this life, what it is, but trusting that inner power. I think you've heard that before.
Yeah.
Okay. There's also Circe and also Heracles. So you definitely were like a big burly man in the past lives. Okay, so I'm going to start with Heracles. It's not that big of connected to your south node, but it is. There's still energy there. So you have a lot of strong willpower. There's a lot of triggers probably. Probably you have jealousy, resentment, temperament, brutality, hardships, toil, inner demons or outer demons, because of this sense of like glory. You know, in past you had that. There could have been also like you were manipulated or tricked, or the opposite. Again, in Dolores Cannon says all the time that, not all the time, she used to say that we are meant to live every single experience. Every lifetime we go through everything. Um, okay, so you must be, you're good with your hands, right?
I guess.
You don't know if you're
Like
good with,
crafty stuff?
yeah, sure, anything with hands. Hands-on things, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Yep, yep, yep. And you have a lot of power within you, like superpower actually. You just don't know it yet. You probably don't trust it. Okay? There's a lot of pride there as well. Um Maybe in a past life you were kind of unwanted as a child, so that gave you strength to kind of be more self-resilient. That kind of ties in with Penelope. Okay? Having to also prove your worth, you having like maybe when you were younger, like wanting to be rewarded for things, again it's tied to self-worth, which you're learning in this lifetime as well. Certain things related to servitude, helping others, that kind of stuff. Divine interventions is part of this one. um, you must have had some kind of connection with someone who was like a sister, brother, or sibling from another parent. Um, you were not adopted, were you? Or maybe in a past
Mm-mm.
life. You were?
No, I
Oh,
wasn't.
okay, okay. Something about adoption here. Because it's square to, the south node is square to the fifth house. There's something about children here and having fun. Um, is one of your children adopted, or have you thought about adopting children?
I've thought about it, but my daughter's biological.
Okay, biological. Okay, cool. Uh, there's something about a twin. There's a twin there. Probably in a past life.
Interesting.
Yeah. Um, did you know if you've channeled any past lives? Did you know if you've gotten readings about past lives? Because there's.
hmm Yeah, I've gotten a few, but none of them were like had a twin relevant.
Okay. Okay, cool. Definitely a lot of trials and tribulations. Heroism was part of that. Wrestling. Okay.
Interesting.
Okay. Any sort of experience with brutality or emasculation or having to succumb to other powers. Again, that's probably why you feel like you feel kind of powerless in this lifetime. You were a servant to someone. There must have been also, I'm not saying this is true, but it is tied to the eighth house, so there must have been some sort of like choking, asphyxiation, physical contractions, some kind of labor stuff, so it's labor related to labor, like giving birth, pregnancies. But then again, you learn how to kind of say, okay, that's spilled milk, right? That's the past. Something about nursing as well. Have you done any fostering? Okay, that could be part of that as well. But then that's more of a past thing. So all these things that I said, okay, so the bow, arrow things, that keeps coming back. So
Interesting.
like animals, yeah, and Superman abilities or superhuman abilities. This also means because it is the eighth house, it's tied to money as well, getting paid overtime, right? Let's see. Things in 12s or 3, 12s or 3. And let's see. Something about being resourceful as well. You're quite resourceful. And I don't know what this is. There's something about rivers, ditches, deserts, and gardens. So, okay. Let's see what else you have. Circe. Circe is about boundaries. And she's actually also about witchcraft and charms and inner power. So again, tying back to this whole thing. So you were most likely a witch in a past life or practicing witch or something similar. Okay, you worked with potions. You wanted to kind of be yourself. You know, in a way you can be like, you could say feminist. But there's a very seductive power to that. Having boundaries. Or rather you didn't have those and you were kind of just, let's tie to, maybe you're not doing the archery this life because I'm seeing the connection here. I'm gonna double check here. 1 second. 7 degrees. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you shot someone or you were shot.
Oh.
Something about that. Okay, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Either that or you were also resurrected somehow, or you resurrected people. So something about necromancy. This could also mean not necessarily bringing things back to life, but also divining, using divination to read things like dead bodies. I know it's kind of weird. It's like, or dead things, like you see things and there's like divination. Do you practice divination?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, it's also stuff with potions and poisons. There's something about venom earlier. I did not mention this, but there's something about venom. It could have been that you were poisoned somehow, or you poisoned someone. I mean, it could go either way, right? So there's no blame. There's just, that's what it is. Again, animals, like you said, you love animals. Yeah. Your children are quite gifted, aren't they? Okay. Because this is Circe, and this was the Heracles thing, there's something about a connection to being a sort of a demigod, or a demigod archetype. Right. Okay. I'm just saying that also for fun, but that's what it means is power, right? So, you're very also like, do you feel yourself kind of like in the past being like an alpha? You feel like you have an alpha personality?
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, and it says here, shiny hair, beautiful, voluptuous hair, that kind of, I see that right away. Let's see here, connection to dragons. Or archangels.
Yes, so I channel the archangels.
Okay, there. Okay, so do you do any singing? Have you done singing? Do you still do that? No? Oh, yeah?
No, I'm a terrible singer.
Okay, that's the whole thing. Maybe that's the gift of the past that you could probably tap into. That could be part of the financial stuff. I know you say terrible singer, but that's, if you've tried it only once, you can keep trying. I mean, do you get drawn to it? Do you feel it's very You don't get drawn?
No.
Oh, okay. Then that's fine. If you don't get drawn to it, that's different. Anything to do also with weaving, looms,
Hmm.
sewing.
I have been wanting to learn how to knit.
There you go. So you said wanting. You said that wanting right away. I think that's something. It could always be tied to something, right? It could also be figurative. It doesn't necessarily mean that. Could it be some sort of connection, connecting the dots,
Mm.
kind of thing, right? Goosebumps as I said that. Um, so secluded locations. I'm gonna just say this one: treachery and treason. So something about the past. Um, any sort of protections against spells. So you practicing medium, right, as well?
Hmm.
Okay, so it says that here. Yeah. Near-death experiences, resuscitation, CPR, Heimlich maneuver. So it could be that somehow in the past, because again there was asphyxiation. There's something about
Hmm.
choking. There's something about asphyxiation. Do you have issues with speaking your mind
I
sometimes?
Yeah, I get a lot of like throat stuff, or like my voice will get weird, and there's like no medical cause for it.
Yeah, I can see here your Mercury in your data in your birth chart is in the pretty much last degree, 29 degrees, 29 degrees of Aquarius. Very strong, energetic sort of thing that's happening there. It's almost like a focus, and so it's very electric as well. Usually, when it comes to the eighth house placement of Mercury here, and it's in Aquarius, it has a lot to do with electromagnetic frequencies. Um, do you get exposed a lot to electricity and to electronics often?
Yeah, I mean, I work on my computer.
Okay. Do you sort of do some sort of any ways to that work with your circulatory system? Do anything like that? Do you detox?
No, but I should.
That will help because it needs to detox. There's something about the lower with here going with this like that.
Hmm.
I'm not seeing that as like I'm just saying what I maybe I am seeing it, but I feel like yeah I'm getting this feeling because it's tied to I'm adding a bit of medical astrology here for the people who watch this video. So there's something tied to the Aquarius with Taurus and Scorpio as well. In medical astrology, we look at that. But it's also tied to Leo. It's an expression of your voice as well here. Specifically also to the nerves, how you sense things. So also things that you put in your body. If it's not necessary, so let's take a look. Your sun is okay. So I know that with your moon in Sagittarius, you like foreign food, right? You enjoy foreign foods, like things that are probably strange or maybe not, because it's hold on
No,
3 degrees.
I'm so picky.
Okay, I can see that now. Your moon is square your sun, so that means your eating habits is yeah, you prefer things that something that let me see here. Technically, if it's Pisces, but it's usually with the moon, it's soups or soft things.
Hmm.
But if it's too strange for you, like you're not used to it, then you're kind of like, I'm not open to that. It kind of
Yeah.
can be scary. So that's the thing about this whole thing. Your perception is also Mercury, so mm, it can get quite stubborn because its placement is Capricorn. So when you're picky with your perception, when you perceive things, it has a Capricorn feel to it. So sometimes Capricorn it's the Saturn ruled sign represents limitations. So sometimes maybe your perception of some things may be good for you rather than bad for you. Have you ever just tried testing things, doing things little by little? That's what you're learning in this lifetime. Your gift now to learn to go into the little things. That's Virgo. Virgo is time testing, looking at and look at the science behind it too, right? And also test
Hmm.
it for yourself. You never know unless you go past that limitation boundary.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. So that's that. So tying that into this life, there are certain things that I'm seeing here. Cronus is tied to this. Makemake is a big one here. Makemake is our dwarf planet retrograde here. Um, he's basically about reaching for the stars kind of feel, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's really about trusting your inner creativity. Makemake is high vibration of Uranus, which rules actually Aquarius. That signifies that it's going beyond the natural thought process of thought and communication and mental creativity. So it's all about going past what you're getting, what you do. So sometimes you have to choose: are you surviving or are you thriving? Right? It's about sustainability, prosperity, fortune, harmony, self-creative abilities, potential, um, self-producing, that kind of stuff. Very, very much, we're pretty much in tune with, I guess, channelers. If you look at channelers, people who do channel a lot, like they get, like you said, you get into it, like that kind of stuff, right? But there's a part of you that still doubts that, right? When you say so, um, I'm not saying be a channeler, but it is tied to that sort of energy that's really out there. But that also means going inside as well, because Makemake understands the inner nature of creativity through the mind. Okay, he's beyond fifth dimension. It's in. He's one of the. I think he was Makemake was Easter Island. According to Easter Island mythology, he was this person who reached for the mountains. There was something he was tied to reaching for. There was a contest that was tied to this mythology where people would in the tribe would reach for the what is that word called? There's a name for that bird. It's right here. Sooty terns. So their nests are way up in the mountains. So the goal is to reach that. So that's what Makemake represents. Is going reaching for it, but not necessarily like wanting to. You see what I mean? Mentally speaking, it's kind of yeah. Okay, it's kind of like your sixth sense, but beyond that, right? Um, so I don't know if you have thought about doing anything with birds, aviary stuff.
Mm-mm.
Okay, okay. Do you have a lot of children?
No, just one.
Just one? Okay. Hmm. Interesting. Okay. What do you think about airships or starships?
Like UFOs.
And beyond, like, like Star Trek, that kind of stuff.
I think they're interesting.
Okay.
I've never watched like Star Trek or Star
Really?
Wars before.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that kind of ties in. Like, maybe that might be, I don't know. I'm not saying watch it, but again, because here it's somewhat still tied to your Pluto here. Let me double check if there's anything here. Ah, okay. Makemake square child. Okay. Is there some kind of, do you have concerns about having more children?
Mm-mm.
No?
I mean, I'm probably going to have more, but I'm not like concerned about it.
Okay. 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 That's fine. But there is something related to child, or rather your inner child. There's something about your inner child. You have the asteroid here. It's in the fifth house. So, and because it's square Makemake and also retrograde, it's almost like, um, yeah, self worth is a big thing for you in this life, isn't it? Okay, cool. So we talked a little bit about the food thing and for things that are foreign foods and all that stuff. Makemake represents multiculturalism. So how do you feel about those kind of things?
I mean, I'm just, especially with the food, like I'm so picky and
Okay.
just not adventurous. And
Okay. Yeah, which is kind of ironic. If people saw your moon in Sagittarius, oh, you're kind of adventurous, and you're just like, no.
no.
Yeah. So that's yeah, because your moon is tied to your Pluto. That already explains to me that's that whole thing with. It's almost like you have a disconnection to your emotions and your power, and also your senses, your auric field. That's probably why you're going into these things quite. There's a strong tendency for you to analyze things.
Yep.
Right. So one of the gifts of this whole thing that you can get from this is eventually your Mercury will move past Aquarius. It'll progress into, I think it's already progressed into Pisces. So allowing yourself to trust more of those situations. When I was telling you about the whole trusting thing and the whole thing, I sensed that you were going like this, and you're like, you're not sure. So it's like I get it. So it's
Yeah.
like, okay, okay, but that's okay. You know, sometimes doubt can eventually lead to where it's like I'm sick and tired of doubting myself,
Mhm.
right? And you're in this journey. You have like people might tell you again and again. It's like you still have your life ahead of you, but at the same time, I call this the age of choice. So do you get to choose what you want to do, and you know again those little things, right? Those little things that lead you towards something that will actually make changes, and these are the most important things. It's the most subtle things that when we make changes towards that, that'll give us more the external things. The internal things is different, right? So, and it's one thing to say, it's one thing to get information from what I'm doing now. It's another thing to put it into practice, or rather, to actually experience it. People today, most humans still feel like, oh, I will know it and I will understand it. No, that's not how it works. Understanding comes from experience, not. When I say experience, it doesn't necessarily mean doing. It's tied to emotions.
Mhm.
So the gift of your past lives or your past parallel lives is going back into those emotions, using that as a gift. Do you do any shadow work, inner child therapy? Okay, got it. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah. So yeah, so trust those emotions. Teal Swan has awesome shadow work stuff. I don't know if
Mhm.
you've heard of Teal Swan.
Mm-mm.
Okay, look her up. She's very direct.
Okay.
She's like on point. Teal, like the color, and the swan,
Got it.
right? Because I know you're in your car, so that's fine.
Yes.
So to be practical, there are things like when it comes to flight, that could be one of those things. If you're afraid of flying, maybe you can test yourself and see if, because again, going back, I'm not saying go fly. I'm not saying go skydiving. I'm just saying there's something about flying, right?
Mhm.
Test yourself beyond. Environmental stewardship is part of this one as well. So environmentalism. The multiculturalism part is also something that will test you as well. Um, Also, um, getting to know more people, friendships and companions, you know, and learning to kind of open yourself up a little bit more. Communities, right? Communities. If you're getting help from people, be open to that as well.
Mhm.
Um, Dancing, music. I know you said you're not good at singing. Sorry about that noise. That's upstairs. The tenant's
That's
upstairs.
okay.
Um, you know, go with your strengths as well. If your music isn't one of them, you could just be dancing. You could be also storytelling, some sort of natural learning, any form of natural learning. I'm a teacher of, I'm a language teacher, but I try not to do the whole traditional language stuff, grammar, all that crap. I will go back into the childhood stuff, like toddlers, the way we pick up language. It's called language acquisition, but I go beyond the terminologies and methodologies. It's just being completely natural. It's tied to the intuition. It's tied to your instincts. It's tied to everything that is. Okay, that's very very natural. That kind
Mhm.
of stuff. So natural learning. Um, let's see here. What else is there? Have you tried arts and you do arts and crafts, right? You said. Right?
Not as much anymore, but I used
Okay.
to.
Okay. Could also be tied to anything related to that. Woodwork, carving, stonework, maybe metalwork. I don't know. Okay. Again, this is a time for testing yourself, trials. Okay, that kind of stuff, and it's okay. Um, Writing is part of. I think is a big one here, like journalism. I wouldn't say be a
Mhm.
journal or reporter, um, you know, but writing. There's something about writing because it's a bit more on the spiritual side. Automatic writing.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm assuming you already drew that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, it says here that with Corona's conjunct your North Node, you're kind of a late bloomer when it comes to things.
Oh.
Latent abilities as well. You'll have latent
Okay.
abilities, yeah. but you'll still doubt those. And you're like, why is it happening now? It's the kind of thing, whatever. But you also have these divine natural abilities that you feel you don't have, again, because of the power stuff. That's something that's, I feel, very important, because you will figure that out eventually. Being powerless leads you to find it inside. Literally. And so what happens is, because I know that feeling, I have Sun conjunct Pluto in my chart, and it's trine my moon, so I've always felt powerless throughout my life. I know what powerless feels like. It's like, especially when you don't get it from family and they don't have that nurturing, it's just, yeah. So the key is surrendering. Okay. So prophetic abilities as well. You can have those. Self-healing abilities. Let's see here. Because it's tied to the second house. Let's see here. Being the underdog. Okay? You can be like one of those people who are the underdogs. But it doesn't mean that you cannot be seen. It just means that you have to kind of work a little bit harder on that one. Not harder, smarter. The smarter doesn't necessarily mind here. Trust your heart. Trust the smartness and the intelligence of the heart. It has a higher and wider, bigger magnetic field than the brain. Did you know this?
I did not.
Okay. Did you have a cesarean pregnancy? Birth?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay.
No.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That makes total sense because it's square. Okay. Midwifery. That's interesting. Surveillance. I don't know if you're into surveillance or tools for surveillance. That's something to do with Coronas.
Interesting.
So, VPNs. That's another one. Any sort of tracking, assessments, that kind of stuff. Or rescue missions. Okay. It says here, it's tied to the 5th house, so lovers, what is this one? Well, you didn't have lovers, so obviously that's how it is, so that's good. So that's the loyalty coming in there. Computers, pliable objects. Okay. Do you ever work with pliable objects or fire?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's another scary thing for you. Okay. With the surveillance things or like investigations tied to like things like when have you ever I'm not sure. Do you get turned off? Sometimes okay. Do you get turned off or kind of curious about investigative stuff like police work?
Yeah.
Okay. But do you do anything about it?
No. I mean, I read like true crime books.
Okay, so there you go. So that's one of those things. Okay, I see here that it's one of those things. Yeah, you could be also like something about being a messenger, that kind of stuff. Have you ever tried doing, or even be curious about doing any psychic stuff through the police, like through
I've been looking at like a forensic
forensics?
detective psychic
There you
class.
go. Okay, so there you go. Okay, so if you're doing that, you're on the right track. Again, being a messenger of some kind, like that kind of stuff. Let's see here. So that could be a potential like job thing, like not just job, like could be kind of freeing for you because if it's something that you resonate with, go ahead. Or you could work in pastured lands or like with animals, that kind of stuff. Any sort of preventative measure is part of this one as well. Having backup plans as well. So plan B, plan C, all the way to Z. Sorry, I say Z, I'm kidding. So there's also something about the Corvus constellation. I don't know. We'll have to look into galactic astrology later for that one. But there's something about the Corvus constellation. Corvus. Okay. So in terms of what I'm seeing here, what's happening, could be happening right now is, I don't know if there's there's some sort of astronomical or astrological or both kind of interest. Do you have?
Hmm.
I don't know if you.
Yeah.
Okay. This is actually kind of timely. I'm planning to open up a decently cheap cost for astrology classes. I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out what do you call that? The technical stuff behind it. Because
Oh yeah.
yeah. So yeah, it's weird. So, but that kind of coincides with that. That's cool. So, anyways, it could be also because you're getting a reading. But right now you're having in this chart you have Urania, which is she's kind of like Uranus, but she was the goddess of astronomy in ancient Greek mythology. So she deals a lot with astronomy, astrology, but also which is nature and music. She's also about poetry and sciences, expansive memory and knowledge, cosmic wisdom, fortune telling, and divination. That kind of makes sense. Where you're going into divination. Are you new to divination or no?
Um, within like the last like year or two,
Okay,
so
that totally makes
newer.
sense. Okay, that totally makes sense. Yep, yep. Okay. How about poetry? Have you ever thought about that?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. Interesting. Let's see here. Music is coming back up though. So maybe not singing, but music. It could be specifically like string instruments, the lyre,
Mm-hmm.
or
Interesting.
work using technology in a way to do music, like the stuff that
Uh,
they do with I don't know the pan drum or something. I don't
oh
know
yeah.
whatever that kind of stuff. Anything that is more modern. Uh, I'm more traditional when it comes to things like that. I don't mind the modern stuff. It's just there's something about the frequency that's kind of. Although the hand pan is not that bad. It's actually pleasant to the ears. Um, let's see here. Observatories. I don't know about observatories. Maybe something tied to the animal stuff. There's something about observatories. Um, Are you getting into astronomy somehow?
No, I mean I really like learning about like the planets and the stars and stuff.
Okay. 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 Good thing I'm also adding in the definitions here, so that's cool. Um, Also about navigation, sailors, and exploring. That might be something that you can look into. Again, if it inspires you, if it's there's a difference, as Teal Swan would put it, there's a difference between wanting to do something and or scared of it, and not wanting to do something and actually scared of it. You're scared. So if you want to do something but you're scared of it, that's something tells you something else rather than I don't really want to do it. Right. So yeah. So as the song goes from the 80s, listen to your heart when it's calling for. Okay, good. You also have here characlo. So that has a lot to do with healing, but also tied to um, what do you call this? Gender equality or something about that. But also gentleness, empathy. These are the things that we kind of take for granted, but it's good. It's important. Being a kind of a healer doesn't heal people that because of their modality. A healer heals because of their presence, just being there, right? Also, teaching is a part of this one naturally because of the Virgo placement as well. Um, so watch out for being conservative or progressive. Like could be like both, right? So to honor both this physical self and also the eternal self, we have to honor this. So we work with both, right? That's part of shadow work as well. Mm, sensitivity, sympathy, empathy. That's kind of I don't know. You don't need to take classes on those. Just go with your emotion, trust the powerlessness, all that stuff. Um, let's see here. Are you working with children now? Do you feel called to work with children?
No.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that's kind of come up a little bit.
I mean I work with adults with disabilities, so
Yeah,
they're like mental age is like children, but not like
sure,
actual children.
sure. Okay, that's volunteering as well. It says here, yeah, volunteering. How about refugees?
Never thought about it.
There's that whole foreign thing. Okay, well, that's fine. Again, if you feel called to it, trust it. You don't have to do anything crazy or anything, right? So just, whatever you have in wherever you are, take the little steps. Um, Boarding schools, seminaries, prep schools. Okay, I don't know about that one. Uh, this one's getting a little bit on the religious side. It says prayers and or invocations, but prayers are prayers. Prophets, nuns, priestesses, empowering medicine or herb substances, vitamins, minerals, nutrients, for example. Again, the baby thing is coming up. Baby blankets, blankies, onesies, something about that. Because it's tied to the second house. I don't know if there's anything tied to that. But if you're volunteering, that's good because that can lead to more experience, right? So, yeah. What it says here? Strange surface. Okay. No, I think that's about it. Clothes. Do you do anything with clothing? Because remember we talked about sewing earlier. I don't know if you feel. Okay. You don't feel called to make your own clothing? Sew it?
No.
Not really. Okay. The key says here is in the progress. It's a progressive lachesis here. So there's something about soul contract, or it's where we work with guides or counsel, etc., on our soul contract. That's tied to what you kind of already are doing. I would probably. I feel like I'm being told to tell you that you should do more than just the angels. If it's archangels, yes, they say it's the highest one, but there are other things you can work with as well. There's more to it than what you see. I'm hearing there's more to it than what you see. Okay. Games of chance like bingo, lotto, keno, game shows. Okay. I don't know if that's something you've done. Again, it's something tied to soul contract. Let's see here. Something more in the second house stuff related to the second. Are we okay for time? Are you still okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to the shadow work, that's stuff that will heal you, but also help you move forward, especially with self-worth. Any fragmentation. Teal Swan talks about this. And there's other people that talks about fragmentation. In order for something to expand and grow, it needs to be fragmented. Right? Yeah. So let's see here. Mathematical fractions, food serving size. The textile thing is coming back up. Okay.
Interesting.
Yes, textile things, working with anything. Yarn, threads, maybe tape. I don't know. Weaving, knitting, sewing, lace making. Textile machinery. Okay, yeah, got it. Okay. Fabric. See, the word the clothing is coming back up again. Okay. So there could be something with that. Distribution companies that are distributive properties. That could be part of the business part. Distribution companies. Or government or military units, business departments, sections, rooms, or rooms of a house or building. So to me that signifies that it could be starting as your own business, like at home. Countries and borders, continents, again international stuff coming in. Sorry, you gotta work with the world. Okay? Circulatory system, we talked about this already, right? That's a very important thing because it'll still be connected to your nodes, but also this whole thing with your mind and what we talked about health-wise. What? Yeah. All your pretty much your body organs, the body parts. So that could also mean that you can get into anatomy. It's not any different to me. It's not any different than the planets because we're all connected. So anatomy, I don't know. Yeah. So there's that. What are the other ones? One second here. Let's look at the other parts here. If you're hearing my stomach grumbling, that's because I haven't had anything to eat. That's There's something about this one's kind of important. Even though it's square to the these are progressed asteroids into square to your north node, or rather the progressed asteroids that's conjunct your north node. Conjunct means connected. Square means 90 degrees. It means that there's often challenges that come with this. So maybe challenges that pertain to uh, justice. It's probably something to do with justice. Antigone is right here. So again, the self-worth is here. Something about the justice or legal system. Any sort of ripple effect that comes from the choices you make. Values, integrity, morality. Uh, um, any sort of father figure as well. I feel like it's tied to that one. Any sort of people who might challenge you in terms of question what you go into, right? Um, Collectives as well, and then so people, basically other humans. Okay. Um, watch out for those kind of things. There might be challenges when it comes to also families, family reputation, uh, what is pure and unpure. So if you know, don't really just give in to what people say, even what I say here. You know, just these are things that I'm reading. I'm reading the chart as I see it,
Mhm.
right? So trust yourself as well. Um, Again, there might be people in community groups that might kind of not like what you do and all that stuff, or you know, when you get it, when you tap into that inner power, you'll start to feel like there are more things that'll kind of just peel away, and kind of like fall off. So it might be considered taboo what you do, or some of the things you get into. You probably already experienced that, some of that.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. People who are probably disloyal, and that's fine. Loyalty is a choice. Loyalty is something that you commit to because you want to. It's not something outside of yourself, not something we expect of others. We have already heard this, but again, it's another thing to experience it. Caught in the crossfire, duality, that kind of stuff. So we have here the story of Sedna. This is a very unique one. Sedna is a dwarf planet that's the furthest one out there that we've discovered, and she has an orbit, a solar orbit, about 1,100 years or something like that. She's very long, so that signifies that it takes patience, but she's also about. She was technically a planetary body that was kicked out of the solar system, out, and that signifies in the story too what she was about. She's was lured by this mysterious being, like this, I don't know, very seductive person, guy, whatever, but ended up actually was like a bird. And then he basically tried to take Sedna away from her family responsibilities, but she was kind of caught in between. So if you feel like you're in this ties into what this is. If you feel like you're caught in between things, especially with your sun in Pisces, you know, sun Pisces tends to vacillate, right? So if you're caught in
Mhm.
between, I would say go in, go in, go in, because what happened was technically she lost her father and she lost the guy, and she's trusted within. Um, when she tried to escape in the boat, her father tried to come after her, or rather, she was leaving, and then her father tried to come after her, but then the bird or the raven or that mysterious guy, what kind of created some sort of tornado or hurricane or something like that. And the father got so scared, the boat was rocking, and then Sedna fell off the boat. She tried to climb back up, but the father was so scared for his own life. So that shows some kind of system government betrayal. So sort of a feeling of like that kind of a perception that there was betrayal, but there wasn't. He was so scared for his life that he cut off her fingers. So there's something about releasing. There's something about even though you're bleeding to death, you still trust it. Because what happened to her when she fell into the ocean, later she became the coral reefs, the animals, the sea creatures, right, that kind of stuff. So it's an inner trust of your own needs that comes from within. I know that's a little vague, but it comes down to what Eckhart Tolle. Out of all the teachers that I've followed, so to speak, I always go back to what Eckhart Tolle always says. Just be like a tree. You know, like I just read this article today about this. It says, what is it? Kind of like be an eagle or something like that instead of a crow. The eagle knows what to do. It doesn't argue with the crows. A flower doesn't become any more than what it is. It just bides its time. That's what it is. So that kind of stuff. Okay. But it could also mean that there are things that like you have to take like microcosmic journeys. Again, microcosm like within yourself, right? Empirical data. It says here empirical experience and experimentation and exploration. There's a reason why I said experiment earlier. That's why. That's awesome. Okay. I know you're into science right now, but there's also the balance you can take by embracing mythology, mysteries.
Yeah, I love mythology.
Okay. Okay. So if you don't, okay, I'm not saying sorry. I didn't mean to. Okay. So mysteries, myth, and science. That's what it. That's that. Okay. Government programs. So this is where the whole thing might come in with, I don't know, maybe investigative stuff with the whole psychic stuff, but it could also be tied to governments. I don't know. I'm just saying that's part of that. Let's see here. Environmentalism is coming back up again. Something to do with, because this is Sedna, it's an Inuit mythology. I don't know if you have ever thought of going to the poles or
Like the South Pole and North Pole?
or either one. Yeah.
Yeah, I really want to go.
Okay, so there you go. There you go. So that's something to do with that. Okay. Good. So also working with water. So oceans, seas, that kind of stuff as well. We talked about earlier about people, like the whole refugee stuff earlier, right? Something about famine. So people who have gone through famine as well. That's part of this one. Again, the severance is coming back here because of the severed fingers, right? Again, it could be symbolic, just like scavenging could be also symbolic. Vigilance can be also symbolic. Let's see here. How are we for time? You okay?
Yeah, I'll have to get off in like 10-ish minutes.
That's fine. Okay. So basically, the whole point of this whole thing is that, it comes down to those kind of choices. Things that are repeating, you've already heard them. This one with Clotho, it's basically, I'm seeing here Clotho means that you will have to choose, right? She's one of the fates. She's about controlling life, so being able to actually trust yourself and being in control of your destiny. It's both. Free will and fate are two sides of the same coin. Right? Your body is your fate. Free will is what you do with that body. Kind of simple as that, right? Let's see here. Resuscitation. Let's see if there's anything. Reunion. Something about reunion. Something about repairing as well. That one's already kind of a no-brainer. Animals, again, because you like animals, or something about working with animals as well. Journeys, traveling. If you do a lot of traveling, go ahead and do that. If you do, great. Amnesty, that kind of stuff as well. Okay. Let's see here. Diana is somewhat also tied to this one. You know Diana, the goddess of the hunt. So she's sometimes the hunting comes back in again. It's interesting. She's also about balancing yourself, like yin yang sort of thing. Inner child, or trust your inner child, the inner feminine as well, inner nature. So you see the right. Are you? Do you sometimes go out into nature? Do you have access to go into nature, mountain peaks, forests? No.
Not like mountains, but like I'll have trees.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So that'll help as well. It might be kind of challenging, maybe at times. You're living in the city, right?
Yeah.
Let's see here. You can be quite multi-talented. You can have a lot of things under your belt. If there's questions about that, that's kind of understandable. Self-control, balance, again, kind of taming the wild. That's Hathor here. Divine feminine, the underworld. That's kind of ties in with the mediumship. Your mother. That's explained that here. Okay, child rearing. Already done that. Let's see here. Foreign goods and trade. See, okay, this foreign thing is coming back up. And the music is also coming back up as well. Music and musical instruments. The big ones are the tambourines, harps, lyres, and... Well, it says sistra here. Sistra is kind of like, I don't know what to call that. It's kind of like, it hits itself. It's metallic. You don't need to know that. But the point is, it's musical instruments. It's like a rattle. Let's see here. And the E's coming back here. Cemeteries, so graves, the afterlife, psychopomps. Psychopomps are like messengers, or they're like ushers. They help people to death. That's to move on to the afterlife. So papyrus is coming back here. Parchment. So there's something about the writing. Yes, automatic writing, but maybe more than that. The twin stars, nuclear fusion, planet-eating stars. That one's interesting. Stellar evolution. Again, the water is something here as well. Floods and flooding may be tied to refugees or people, or helping people who've gone through flooding. Gemstones. There you go. Gemstones. I don't know if you work with those. And then I think that's it. Oh, EOS, being open to new beginnings. But not forgetting that there's a reason for the old stuff as well. Usually when it comes to new beginnings, sometimes we just want things that are new. But sometimes we have this sort of like, I'm getting old, this whole belief, I'm getting old, da-da-da. Don't listen to that. Age is irrelevant, right? That kind of stuff. Let's see what else here. Clean slate, that kind of stuff. You said you do volunteering. Have you ever thought of doing one at like an elderly home, retirement homes?
I used to.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. Something about nail polish. I don't know what that is. Maybe, I don't know. Permanent. So, permanent versus temporary. Basically, that's the key. So anything tied to the thing that's tied to permanence and impermanence. But of course, everything is impermanent in the material world. We know this. So that's one thing. I think that's about it. Career-wise, trying to cram everything in right now. 1 second here. I'm going to do this kind of manually. Not like without the book. That's my cheat sheet. Let's see here. So responsibilities to your career, your philosophy used to be part of your... It's part of your philosophy. Like, you have this sort of responsibility. Like you're very responsible, basically. Based on it, but there's also kind of like sometimes maybe a risk taking, and maybe you're afraid to do that sometimes. Maybe, I don't know, because it's tied to series here where it's like there's gains and losses. If there's a fear of losses, maybe disappointments, you learn from that. Also epigenetics. It's tied to epigenetics. I don't know if you've heard of epigenetics. You're curious about that. That's tied to series. She's also rules grains. That's why you have the word cereal. It's from series. Be careful of anything like with pride. That's a big one. Pride doesn't necessarily mean pride. It could also be you're proud of what you do, right? Anything that also repeat itself where you are feeling like you kind of mimicking others, where you feel like it's not original. That's not necessarily a bad thing per se. Well, that's a label we label, right? We have to step away from the bad and the good. I like to use the term expansive and constrictive. Right? If it's constrictive, it just means you're processing. What does that mean for you? Expansive means you're growing. as Bashar puts it, Bashar, right? He talks about that this is a triplicity, not a duality. So, um, sorry, I'm seeing here echo. Echo represents that whole repetition thing. So I say that the only thing that's actually original is origin itself. So if you go back to your origins, meaning not only going inside, but kind of like, I don't know if you've done any ancestral work.
Mm-mm.
That might be that might be something. I don't know. Right? So going back to the past, being curious about the past, even just a little bit, that'll help you with the future. Right? So I'm seeing here Saturn is also in your 10th house, which is right at home. Uh, Alicanto is finding the gem within. Alicanto is. Sorry, this one's a beautiful one. Alicanto is a dwarf planet. It talks about blessings. But if you look for those blessings, you're not going to find them. Don't look for the gems, let the gems come to you. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's fantasy, magic, that kind of stuff. So I feel like this is a big one. Let your inspiration guide you. Let your visions get you. Your supernatural abilities get you to where you're going. There's something about beauty as well. Maybe there's a reason why the gemstones came in, and there's something about nail polish. It could be figurative as well. Um, Publications. Have you ever thought of publishing anything?
I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but I haven't really thought about it.
Okay. 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 There's something about gemstones again here. Shiny objects. So let's see here. Because your solar arc direction here is moved into. Where's your MC here? It's in Taurus now. It's no longer in Aries. It's being patient with work you're doing. It literally is tying into building yourself, building your career. Don't be in a hurry to get somewhere. Build your career. Be the Taurus. Be the builder. I know it's going to take a while, but the shadow behind that is impatience through the Scorpio energy, right? Let the inner power guide you in terms of like what to build. But because it is building, it could be anything from building the mind, building the physical self, building your health, building your emotions, building whatever. So work on your
Mm-hmm.
gifts. I think you're on the right track.
Okay.
All right, thank you for all that. Hope that was good. It was insightful, like I said. I think that's it. Yeah, it was quite like it felt like a quickie, but at the same time, I was like, oh right, when you're having fun, time flies when you're having fun, right? So that's one of those things. It does just happens. So if you have any questions about it, comments down below. Quick like comments, questions down below, and also like and subscribe. You can share this if you want to, not a problem. Well, I would say I don't know. It's really up to you. It's made public, so you can do whatever you want. But like and subscribe, give it a thumbs up. I am also, by the way, looking into. It's in the works right now. Setting up a class for astrology. That's the little news I've been kind of talking about. I don't know when it's going to happen, but stay tuned. Okay. So if you have any questions, though, let me know. I think that's about it for now. But have a good day. Bye.